The world has looked in amazement at the advances with large language models in the last few years. And there is no doubt that a handful of proprietary systems built by a handful of companies with enormous financial resources have led the race. However, relying on these frontier AI systems also has some downsides. For instance, these models use up much energy and have been trained using questionable data sources. Moreover, the data they receive from users may be stored on company servers without control of the user. Also, their usage may be expensive and users may be locked in if they start relying on specific capabilities. Many of these downsides can be partially addressed by using LLMs that are running locally on a computer owned by the user, school, company or institution wanting to use these LLMs. Alternatively, they can be partially addressed by using access to a variety of models offered by third-party intermediaries. These alternatives offer much more freedom, control and choice and can therefore be very attractive. However, they both bring their own disadvantages and challenges. The downsides both approaches have in common are that running your own models or curating your own system prompts is always more complicated than relying on the user-friendly interfaces of big corporations. Furthermore, the open source models tend to be less capable than the proprietary models. Nevertheless, for many potential users in education and elsewhere, they can still be very powerful. Two specific challenges with running models locally are: 1. Securing the appropriate hardware, ideally computers with one or multiple seriously powerful GPUs. And 2. Installing the software that allows you to run models after just downloading its weights. Nowadays, however, there is much software available that makes running LLMs locally much easier than many people think. A challenge both approaches have in common is that it can be difficult to select a model that is best for your usage among the thousands of models that are available. There are, however, many openly available leaderboards that can help you select the best model for a given situation. Playing with and comparing different open source models on the chat interface of third-party providers that offer a wide choice of models is therefore highly recommended. Another challenge, but also a potential advantage, that both approaches have in common is that open source models usually come without a system prompt. It requires some creativity to come up with a prompt that meets one's needs. One last thing. When you choose this route, do make sure you ask advice about how to ensure the security of the data and the safety of the students. In short, it may sometimes seem like educators need to choose between using the interfaces of the big commercial providers of GenAI or not using GenAI at all. But with some effort put into configuring software and hardware, very good alternatives can be created. These alternatives can be based on a variety of small models that can run on local hardware. Or they can be based on a variety of models ranging from tiny and limited to enormous and highly capable that can be accessed through third-party providers. Such alternatives may, in the longer run, save costs and better serve the needs of our students.